Welcome to my new Let's Play of Sonic the Hedgehog. This was one of my very first Sonic games, so now that it's available through the Sonic Origins collection, I wanted to revisit it and see how it holds up. For this playthrough, we'll be playing as Tails, because Tails is one of my favorite Sonic characters, and for some other reasons that I'll talk about later. We are starting out in Green Hill Zone, one of the most iconic Sonic levels, and used to be one of the most beloved until it started appearing in basically every throwback Sonic game. Green Hill is a really good intro level though, as overused as it is. It's got amazing music, the visuals are very vibrant, the background detail is incredible for the time, and it's overall just a really good starting stage. We are playing as Tails instead of Sonic, which is notable because this was not in the original. Tails was introduced in Sonic 2. Tails was added through the mobile collection, or the mobile re-release in 2011 as a bonus character. Tails has all of his abilities from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. He actually was not able to fly in single player in Sonic 2. So yeah, his flight was added in Sonic 3. I probably won't be flying too much. Even though I am playing as a different character entirely, I probably will stick relatively closely to Sonic's moveset. We got to the end of the stage with 50 rings, meaning we can actually enter that special ring to try out the special stage. We're trying to get the Chaos Emerald, which is actually right here. The special stage isn't bad. I'll have more to say about these special stages later. This one's actually fairly short and straightforward, but some of the later ones are interesting, to put it mildly. Moving on to Act 2. So the mobile version of Sonic 1 is actually really fascinating in some ways. I actually will fly here to just safely clear those spikes. It actually has several additions, even when you're not playing as a character like Tails. Every character has a spin dash now. Previously, you'd have to basically get speed and then roll. In the mobile version also, obviously it's widescreen instead of 4x3, but in the original, you actually did have lives. In the Sonic Origins version, you actually don't have lives, hence why there's now a coin counter. So any way that you'd get lives now give you coins. So monitors that have extra lives, 100 rings, and so on. So yeah, you have infinite lives in this version. Coins are actually used for a few different things, which we'll see later on, inevitably. I'm not that good at this game. Truth be told, this is a game I had not finished without save states or rewinds from like collections until this collection released. I did a playthrough when the game launched. This is actually being recorded the day of release, but it was available around midnight Eastern, so I actually did a full run as Sonic and Tails to practice for this playthrough, and that was technically the first time I've ever finished Sonic 1, believe it or not, without, save states or rewinding. Alright, moving on to Special Stage 2. So to talk about how these work a little bit more, the R icons will rotate the stage in the opposite direction, so it basically changes the rotation. The goal spaces end the special stage. We don't want to run into those. The up and down spaces basically speed up or slow down the rotation of this structure. I do not like these special stages, full disclosure. In my opinion, these are some of the worst special stages in any Sonic game, but they're actually not as bad in the mobile version and Origins by extension. Well, for one thing, it actually rotates more smoothly, so it's a little bit less, like, disorienting to look at, to be honest, because of having a slightly smoother frame rate for the actual rotation. But it's still, like, not pleasant. As someone who does struggle a little bit with, like, vertigo, this is not my favorite thing in the world, for obvious reasons. Yeah, motion sickness warning also for these stages, especially in the later stages where it's a lot easier to run into the spaces that speed up the structure. Luckily, we're almost to the Chaos Emerald. I also feel like jumping is actually a little bit different than in the original. Again, I've not really played the original that much. I've actually never gotten the special stages in the original version of Sonic 1 or 2, actually. So yeah, I don't know how different the physics are in Origins and the mobile version versus the original. Well, we cleared the blocks, and we just have to get over there, which is easier said than done, clearly. That was almost really bad. Let's just... Okay, I guess we're going this way now. And yeah, this is why I don't like these special stages. They're just kind of unwieldy. Alright, it's time for Act 3, which features one of my least favorite jumps in Sonic. That jump right there. A lot of times I end up running into one of those two enemies. By the way, Act 3 does not have a special ring, so we don't actually have to worry about coins in this stage. Obviously we want rings, this is going to be a problem. It's a long-running joke about Sonic having rings and a different franchise having coins, but now Origins has both, so if I use rings and coins interchangeably, that's why, because the terminology is slightly confusing. But yeah, in this case I mean rings. Yeah, we don't need to worry about getting 50 rings. In the original Sonic, there were actually only 6 Chaos Emeralds. The 7th Chaos Emerald was introduced in Sonic 2. I don't remember that waterfall being as flashy in the original. I don't know if that's a quirk of the mobile versions, Origins, or both, or if I'm just misremembering how the Genesis version looked, because playing it on like a CRT, obviously it won't look quite like that. My first experience with Sonic 1 and all the classic games were through the GameCube collection, Sonic Mega Collection, and Sonic Gems Collection for CD, which is also in this collection. Up ahead is our first boss battle. So, Dr. Robotnik is basically capturing animals around South Island and putting them into robots to power them. This boss actually has a notable change where as Dr. Robotnik is descending into the arena, in the original Genesis version, you can actually deal damage. In this version, you will phase through him until the Wrecking Ball actually appears, making the fight slightly longer, but this is still the first boss, it's not that bad. 8 hits is pretty standard for Sonic games, and I think that is the case for most bosses in this game. And there we go, we are now officially done, or almost done, with Act 3. Next up is Marble Zone Act 1. Truth be told, as a kid, when I played the Mega Collection, I usually would not get past Marble. Marble is kind of a difficulty spike, actually. And it's also very fundamentally different in a way that makes it very polarizing, to put it mildly. So the thing about Marble Zone is, instead of being like a balance of being able to run fast and platforming, this is much more platforming focused. By the way, some little extra areas were actually added in for Tails in the mobile version, so in cases like this, if you fly all the way up, or if you climb with Knuckles, you can find this little bonus area. So yeah, when the mobile ports were developed, they did add additional secrets for Tails and Knuckles. But yeah, Marble Zone is kind of a difficulty spike, but believe it or not, it was actually supposed to be an even bigger difficulty spike, but we'll talk about that later. As we're kind of making our way through this level, Marble is actually one of these slower zones in terms of actually being able to build up speed, as there's a lot of like block pushing and kind of waiting for various like obstacles, so it's not as like fluid as a lot of other Sonic stages. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the mobile port's development. So the mobile versions of Sonic 1, there are actually a couple mobile versions, but the one most fans are familiar with is the 2011 version that was widescreen for like iOS and Android. This version was primarily spearheaded by two Sonic ROM hacking community members, Christian Whitehead, known as Taxman, and Stealth, or Simon Tomley. Both had a lot of history with making like Sonic fan projects, many of which are very well-renowned, and including things like, in the case of Stealth, making a prototype of Sonic 1 actually running well on GBA, because the actual official version runs poorly. So I'll be honest, I feel like some of the special stages in this game are really rude in that they'll kind of just drop you near a pit with the goal spaces, like right at the beginning, and it kind of sucks. But in general, some of the special stages are actually really short, like this one. Like, it's literally right there. Like, we don't really have to go to much effort to actually reach the Emerald, but actually getting to the Emerald is a bit of a different story, even if it's like in plain sight. Sonic Genesis also kind of messes up the special stage physics. I want to say it's like you have a much higher jump, which makes it a little bit easier actually, and I think the blocks also disappear faster. But again, Sonic Genesis is one of the most notoriously bad versions of Sonic 1 for just being a completely broken mess that was actually released the exact same day as Sonic 06. So happy anniversary, Sonic, for the 15th. Even this stage that's like really straightforward, like the Emerald's right there, is taking way longer than it should just because of how the physics are. And again, I can't attest to how the physics are versus the original, because again, I frankly have not really gotten the Emeralds in the original, because these are not my favorite stages in the world. Alright, so this is fun. Now we have to drop all the way back down carefully to avoid falling into a goal space. I don't even know where the Emerald is now. There it is. Almost there, just a few more blocks to break, but again, easier said than done in a lot of cases with these stages. Almost. And again, this rotating is not my favorite thing in the world. I'm definitely feeling a little bit dizzy from this. So yeah, well designed. And then they actually did a similar concept for Sonic 4, which is also not my favorite type of special stage. It's like, I didn't like them in the original, let alone when they tried to bring them back. We've broken basically every crystal except the ones that are guarding the Emerald, which is very unfortunate that it's taking this long. I do not want to fall in now that we've gotten this close, so I'm going to be very careful. Barely missed it. Cool. Alright, we can definitely reach it now, but it's a matter of actually getting over there without falling into the goal spaces. Yeah, we have a clear shot if we can line this up properly, but again, lining it up properly is the big question. And now I'm falling farther and farther away from it. Well, at least we're kind of closer than we were.